Well, not a lot occurred in terms of the Idaho 4 case over the weekend, except for a lot of rumblings around YouTube involving Bryan Kohberger and Elliot Rodgers. Now, in case you don't know, Elliot Rodgers was the incel that went on his little mass shooting spree in California. And a lot of people are comparing Bryan Kohberger to Elliot Rodgers, which I don't see the comparison personally, but you know how it is. Once people get something in their head, they go all the way with it. Guys, I'm JB Gunner. This is Crime Time. Today we're going to be talking about page 118 because everybody thinks that's the book that was taken from Bryan Kohberger's house, even though Elliot Rodgers Manifesto has never been manufactured and produced in print. I'm JB Gunner. This is Crime Time. Let's do it. Let's get started.
Bring it back.
Now, we already know that I'm the type of guy that will call things stupid when things are fucking stupid. And to believe that Bryan Kohberger had a physical copy of the manuscript of Elliot Rodgers Manifesto is one of the most retarded things I've ever heard because it's never been produced. It doesn't exist. A physical hard copy of Elliot Rodgers Manifesto does not exist. I'm JB Gunner. This is Crime Time. Before we get it started, though, I'm going to say first and foremost, thank you to everybody that supports this channel, regardless of the method you choose, whether it's Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Patreon. Truth is, guys, I couldn't do this each and every day as often as I do if it was not for you, the Gun Squad. So big shout out to you guys. And if you too find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Support the channel. You guys are truly what keeps this thing going and going regularly. So thank you guys so much. While you're down there, do yourself a favor. If you're not a snowflake and you like news, politics, you can check out my other live streaming channel, my politics channel. If you get into gaming, you can check out my gaming channel. A lot of big things going on there, or even my wrestling channel down there. I'm very versatile with my content, shall we say. But we're going to get into this. Now, listen, when I start off with this, I am not coming after any particular YouTubers. I don't think that's going to, look, man, people got to make videos. I get that. Now, even though I have no problem taking the weekend off, I can clearly see people have to keep pushing out content. I'm not really sure why. When there's no news, I almost didn't even make this video today because there's no real news in this case and there's no other true crime cases that's catching my attention right now. But I figured I'd give you this video anyway because I've seen the comments in my comment section, right? There's all these weirdos sitting at home and they're like, JB, ain't it, have you read 118 of Elliot Rodgers Manifesto? I was like, well, no, because I'm not a fucking nerd and I'm not going to sit around and read Elliot Rodgers Manifesto. But I did do simple Google research, and I can tell you right now, it's never been produced physically in a physical book form. So it's really strange that you people, or YouTubers, or anybody, or the FBI coffin doffer bitch, has the nerve to sit here and say that Bryan Kohberger has got to be Elliot Rodgers Manifesto. Let's get into it. Jennifer Coffindoffer, former FBI agent, says, please note page 118 of Incel Elliot Rodgers Manifesto. Now, if you don't know what we're talking about in terms of page 118, why we are bringing it up at all, let me draw your attention to the search warrant. If you take a look at the search warrant, when it comes to Bryan Kohberger's parents' house, they said they took a book that had a sentence underlined on page 118. And so, of course, all the internet sleuths, the nerds, the goobers, they immediately said, well, what book could that be? Motherfucker, it could be Green Eggs and Ham. Well, probably not Green Eggs and Ham because I don't think it was 118 pages. But who the fuck knows? It's strange. Like, you motherfuckers thought that it was significant that they took a gun or a pocket knife or mask, because apparently you can only have black mask if you're a killer. Same thing with black clothes or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so strange for you to believe that any of that shit that's in Pennsylvania is somehow connected to the homicides, even if Bryan Kohberger did it. You would have to believe he's the dumbest motherfucker that's ever existed on this planet to believe he took the murder weapon over to Pennsylvania and kept it in the house. or that he didn't live there. He's got some documentation or some book that he's outlined that says something about killing women. It's strange to me. And I remember when they came out with the fact that he used to work at the fish shop, everybody was like, that's how he learned how to cut. No, he got fired 3 weeks into the fucking fish company job because he didn't know how to cut fish. But that's not what you're hearing the YouTubers say. That's not what you're hearing the media say. That's not what you're hearing Bannerfield say. That's not what you're hearing Kopfendorfer say. Everybody's like, oh man, he was cutting fish, man. He knows how to fillet a bitch. No, he got fired because he didn't know how to fillet. All right? It's weird. You guys are so fucking strange to me. Anyways, Kopfendorfer says, please note page 118 of the incel Elliot Rodgers Manifesto. I believe Bryan Kohberger may have used the name Papa Roger, namesake of Elliot. Is this related to the book seized with underlining? Well, it's really strange because Kopfendorfer, you contradicted yourself right here. Bam! What's this say? So, these came to my attention. It gives me pause compared to what Papa said. She's obsessed with Papa Rogers. So is a lot of you motherfuckers. Bottom line is, others said this too. Check this out. Okay, as you clearly see, this is why everybody thinks Papa Rogers was somehow Bryan Kohberger or the killer. Because they had the theory that the killer must have left the knife sheath behind. Now take a look. Of the evidence released, the murder weapon has been consistent as a large fixed blade knife. This leads me to believe they found the sheath. This evidence was released prior to the autopsies. That's called common sense. If the police and investigators were so gung-ho on the fact that it had to be this fixed blade knife, the reason that, in my opinion, that they would make that determination is because apparently there had to be some sort of evidence at the crime scene to make them think that. And when you're looking at a fixed blade knife, the only logical conclusion at all is that a knife sheath was left behind. There's no, because that's the only possible reason. And the knife sheath was left behind. And so anybody with a little bit of knowledge of knives would say, well, that's how you would carry around a fixed blade knife. That would make sense on why the police were so gung-ho that it was a fixed blade knife. It's because the knife sheath was left behind. Now, so you see this, and everybody's freaking out. Papa Rogers got to be the killer. But then if you look on Kopfendorfer's thing, she's like, oh, this gives me pause. Because other people back then were saying maybe the sheath was left behind. It was everywhere. It wasn't just Papa Rogers, but people love to use Papa Rogers and say it has to be Papa Rogers. Papa Rogers has to be Bryan Kohberger, or at least the killer. And of course, Jennifer Kopfendorfer here says just a possibility. No, it's not a possibility because the physical book of Elliot Rodgers Manifesto does not exist. And she's not the only one. You can look right here on YouTube. Like, you can look on YouTube. Shout out to Harsh. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. No, I get it. A lot of us believe that the killer's an incel. That's true. And so you automatically connect him to Elliot Rodgers as if he somehow looked up to Elliot Rodgers. But I counter that. Because it's been said that Bryan Kohberger had girlfriends. It's been said that Bryan Kohberger had friends he hung out with. How many times they've came out the woodworks? He was on Tinder. He was getting pussy. Now that big fat woman tried to act like she didn't give him no pussy, but let's just call it big fat women on Tinder give you fucking pussy. I can swipe right now on the first fat bitch I see, and she would be here later on sucking my dick, no question. But Bryan Kohberger was continuously seen with an Asian woman coming in and out of his house. So even if you were to believe that he was an incel, okay, well, at least he was paying for pussy or something. I actually said this in Grizzly True Crime's chat room last night during her live. I said, I don't understand because they were talking about incels and everybody was talking, the audience was talking about females can be an incel too. No, they can't because every female can get fucked. All the females got to do is go to the bar right now. Walk up, or just go to the gas station. Walk up to the first dude you see and say, hey, I'd like to suck your dick. I guarantee you, all you would have to do is sit there 5 minutes, and you'd be able to leave out that gas station with somebody willing to let you suck their dick. That's just the truth. The fattest and nastiest and ugliest of the bitches can still get some dick. I drink, so I know. I drink a lot. I've nailed some of them, so I can tell you right now, there is no such thing. But anyway, we were talking about the incels in general, and the belief that Bryan Kohberger is an incel, it's still right there in the middle. I'm not 100% sure that he is. He seems like a normal-looking guy. The dude was a PhD student, and women will fuck you just based on that. Women will fuck you just based on future earning potential. There's a woman right here watching this video right now that if they met Bryan Kohberger in public, he's already got a master's degree and he's going for his PhD. There is a woman here right now watching this video that's like, yeah, I'd give him a shot. I'd suck his dick. Guarantee you. Because women seek men for resources and protection. So a man with that's studying for his PhD and a man with a master's, they already know is going to have great earning potential. Men seek women for physicality and nurturing. So that's why, by the way, though, fat women could get it, because if they can cook right and suck a mean dick, which fat women typically do, the truth of this is that's why they can always get some dick. It's just reality. But back to this. If you look at the YouTubers, like, look, they're going all in on it. They're going all in on it. At least Grizzly True Crime, she just did a stream directly about Elliot Rodgers, and I thought that was pretty cool. It was a good stream. I highly recommend her, right? But anyway, as you see here, as you go down the list, a lot of people have compared Bryan Kohberger and Elliot Rodgers. And you're seeing it a lot, but I just want to make this clear, the likelihood that he didn't have the book. So let's go ahead and check it out. Well, the manifesto, does it take us to 118? I'm not about to do all that. I'm not about to read the fucking, here, let's see if we can go here. 118. Let's go to 118. Let me make sure you guys can see it. They say, is it possible he looked at page 118? Who gives a fuck? Basically, it says women must be punished for their crimes of rejecting such a magnificent gentleman as myself. So basically, they truly, here's the thing. I just want to make this clear as could be. There is no physical copy of that book, of that manifesto. So the belief, the theory that it was Elliot Rodgers Manifesto in his parents' house is a completely brain dead theory. 100%. Meanwhile, 30 new groups have asked for Idaho Supreme Court to reject the gag order. Everybody wants to nail Bryan Kohberger to the wall. This is what they want. Everybody wants to nail Bryan Kohberger to the fucking wall. So they're rejecting the gag order. There were 30 news organizations have asked the Idaho Supreme Court to overturn a gag order. And they're going to try to do this with freedom of speech. And even though I'm personally against the gag order, by the way, in case you didn't know, you can just Google it. You can't find his manifesto in physical form anywhere. PDF is the best you can get it. The absolute best you can get it. So they're trying to reverse the gag order because, once again, the whole point of this is they want all the information out so we can find Bryan Kohberger guilty in the court of public opinion, which we've already been doing. I haven't. I think Bryan Kohberger is innocent until proven guilty. But there's a lot of you motherfuckers that are like, no, he's got to be guilty. No, I think they need the gag order. Bryan Kohberger, he has the right to a fair defense. He has a right to all of this. Whether you believe he's guilty or not guilty, he has the right to it. By the way, Bryan always liked black clothing, even in class. Yeah, I like black clothing as well. I have black beanies, black drawers, black outfits, black shoes. Doesn't mean you're killing people, just so we understand how this thing works. Guys, News Nation has dropped quite a lot. I do want to say that there's a graphic designer who created a 3D version, a video of the Idaho murders. I actually found it really, really entertaining. A lot better than Gray Hughes. We can't wait till June. Expert applauds unsealing of Kohberger warrants, so they're happy about that. But also, Kohberger's defense is fighting to keep said gag order in place. I think it should be kept in place. It's definitely, I'm on the fence with it because part of me believes obviously 100% in free speech. But also, I think if Bryan Kohberger is guilty, you don't want him to be able to have shit to appeal on. And things being leaked out that can alter the public perception of him, the same public that's eventually going to be on the jury, I think it's smart business for Bryan Kohberger and his defense to not want it out there. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, why would you want to poison the well? Bryan Kohberger still has to go to jury trial, and he still has to have a jury of his peers. And currently, right now, the media has already tried and convicted Bryan Kohberger. You right now, you've either tried him and convicted him or you haven't. Maybe you're a little bit more fair, a little bit more constitutionally based like myself. And so maybe right now you're like, well, there's been nothing necessarily that has been proven that would give me reason to sentence Bryan Kohberger to death. If you have that opinion, then you clearly believe in the innocent till proven guilty concept. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're one of the people that believe he's guilty, you're entitled to that opinion. I just think you're wrong at this point. Well, you may not be wrong, but you need to think about it. Is he guilty without a reasonable? Is he guilty without a reasonable doubt? I don't think they've proven that yet. And I get a lot of you guys are going to say, well, we don't know what they have yet. Yeah, but either do you. You don't know what the defense has. So it works both ways. So the best thing truly is to let the courts handle it. I personally, as a person that does these videos, of course, the selfish me would like the gag order lifted because I personally think the gag order is causing more theories, more guessing to happen on the YouTube streets, but also in the media. Every day, Banfield finds a way to make fucking 2 hours worth of fucking Bryan Kohberger material, even though there's a gag order and there is no fucking news. Those people still got to make the money, so they're going to keep lying to you. They're going to keep giving you whatever fucking spin they want to give you. I'm just going to tell you there is no new news left. And you can clearly see that by the fact that we're talking about page 118 of a book that doesn't exist. See what I'm saying? Guys, let me know what you think, though. Do you think it's the Elliot Rodgers Manifesto? I'm thejbgunner. This is Crime Time. If you like what I do here and you find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. There's just not a lot of news with this case. So I'll be back tomorrow. Sorry, there's just not. And so I figured I still wanted to give you a video on Monday. And maybe if a different true crime case pops on my radar, I can cover it. But there's just not a lot right now. So I got to make fun of the people that are ridiculous. And there's a lot of people even in my comment section. They're like, you just don't know what we know. I'm like, bro, you think that you know some shit because you read Reddit. If you get your news from Reddit, bro, you got a serious problem here. I'm sorry. The minute you say the truth, you don't know what I know, and then I'm like, where did you find it? Reddit? I'm like, get the fuck out of here. If you get your news from some forum, then you're probably dumb. Love you guys. Check out my other channels. If you want to support channel, hit the links below. I'm thejbgunner. This is Crime Time. It's a little bit more boring of a video, but it is what it is. I love you guys. It can't be exciting all the fucking time. Have a good one. Hope you had a great weekend. Peace out.